What's going on, people? Happy weekend. Happy Snug Wrestling Day. Another episode of the Snug Wrestling Podcast with me, your host. My name is Edgar. Tommy is here. We're doing the two-man booth tonight. Mr. Bludd is out celebrating his 31st birthday, I believe. Is he 30 or 31, Mr. Bludd?
I think it's 31.
I'm going to say 31. Sorry if I just put him out on blast like that for saying his age. Maybe he wants people to think he's 21 instead of 31. I don't know. But anyway, we're here. We're going to
He
review
posted
Friday.
about it too, so
Okay, good. That makes me feel better then. We're going to be going over Friday Night SmackDown a couple days later, which is not our usual, how we do things. But this whole thing with Worlds Collide kind of forced us into going over Worlds Collide. And instead of doing the review, we had to cover that instead. But this Friday Night SmackDown had a lot of important things leading up to Wrestlepalooza that we have to talk about. It's worth mentioning. So we're gonna get into that tonight. But first, Tommy, how you doing, man? How's your weekend been?
it's been good. I mean, I've mainly been spinning it with you, so there's that. But other than that,
Yeah,
everything else has been like smooth and all that. So
yeah. Everything has been going smooth over here, except for the latest news about Andrade. What did you think about that when you first read when you first heard that, Tommy?
I was a little bit shocked knowing the whole thing that he was doing with Rey Fenix
Hmm.
because those two were working really, really well as a tag team. So I thought, oh, like they're just going to continue this. But apparently, he essentially no called, no showed on a match that he was supposed to take the tag titles off of the Wyatt Six in.
Hmm.
So that seems a bit weird knowing the fact that it's Andrade. But at the same time, I would not be surprised if the whole divorce stuff with Charlotte Flair had at least a little bit of something to do with it.
Yeah, see, I haven't really looked into much into it because I've seen so many different reporting. There's been so much mixed reporting. And me and Blood were actually talking about this morning because I sent him one article that said one thing, and then Sports Illustrated came out with a new article minutes later that said something completely different. You know, Dave Meltzer was saying one thing, and all these sources were saying another thing. So it's not really clear. But finally, it looks like Sports Illustrated. I'm gonna go with what they say, and they're saying that this was because Andrade didn't pass the wellness policy. So they found maybe something in the system. I don't know if it was like drug related, but Andrade did not pass the wellness policy, is what Sports Illustrated was reporting.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one. The main one that I've been hearing is the fact that apparently they've been trying to get a hold of him for like a couple weeks now and he just never answered. That's what I've been hearing mainly.
Yeah, I read that too, and that makes sense. Like, um, he got busted for that, and then he got escorted out of the building, and maybe was upset that he got escorted or he got, dinged on that, and was like, you know what, fuck that. Then I'm not gonna answer any phone calls. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of speculation that it was a uh he must have done something bad backstage because Andrade also has history of having like drama backstage, with other wrestlers in AEW. Andrade got suspended after punching another wrestler, so they were like, "Oh, maybe this was like something disciplinary or something like that along those lines." But now it turned out to be, at least according to Sports Illustrated, it was about the wellness policy. So we'll find out more what's going on with Andrade. Um, because yeah, man, it just, I don't know, since his return, and we can probably get into this more another time. This topic seems for another day, mostly because we're going to be talking about SmackDown tonight. But I just want to get your thoughts really quick. Um, I guess, were you surprised at all? Because it seems like Andrade's return back in the WWE was not as. I mean, there was a lot of high hopes for him, right?
Yeah, there was, but they've been using him quite a bit with Rey Fenix. So I didn't think he was going to get released yet, but here we are.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we'll see what happens with that. Let's get into this Friday Night SmackDown because it started off really different this episode of Friday Night SmackDown because the announcers were the NXT announcers, Booker T and the other guy from NXT. I don't even know his name. I don't really watch NXT. I don't really have the time for it, but I know you do,
I
Tommy.
can't even remember his name either. So,
yeah,
like Booker T is mainly the one that just takes over the show on NXT. So,
yeah, and honestly, this announcer team of Booker T and the other guy that was there, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I enjoyed it a lot more than Monday Night Raw when it was Corey Graves and Joe Tessitore. Like that duo from Monday Night Raw just did not work for me. It did not land. That episode of Monday Night Raw to me dragged, and I put a lot of the blame on that commentary team. But I really enjoyed Booker T and the other guy here on this episode of Friday Night SmackDown. What did you think about seeing them as the announcers team for SmackDown?
So I watch NXT, so I know exactly how good this duo is, and they work perfectly. Even though it's mainly Booker T that gets all of the hilarious clips and all of that, because that man is unhinged. But I do understand why they were moved over there and how good they actually are as a commentary duo.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't get to see John Cena on this episode of Friday Night SmackDown, but we did get to see Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar kicked things off. And I was interested, obviously, it's Brock Lesnar. He still gets huge crowd reactions, even though he's the big, bad, evil heel. And I was thinking, is Brock Lesnar actually going to cut a promo? Is he going to talk shit about John Cena? Is he going to, what is it? What are they going to do here? Like, I wasn't sure how this was going to go. Like, I was expecting typical Brock Lesnar show up, beat someone up, and then leave, right? But Brock Lesnar comes out first. He's the only one in the ring, and he's standing there, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And I'm like, what is he going to say? And then R-Truth music hits. And I was like, see, I had a feeling they weren't going to they weren't going to make Brock Lesnar go out there and cut a promo about his match at Wrestlepalooza versus John Cena. That just does not seem like something Brock Lesnar usually does. So when R-Truth came out, I was like, there it is right there. This is who is going to get beat up, and it makes perfect sense because it's John Cena's longtime fan, and you know they got the history, and overall it was a great moment with R-Truth and Brock Lesnar. They never failed to give us good moments, and it took me back to that segment 2020 when R-Truth broke Brock Lesnar and made him laugh unexpectedly. But I really enjoyed this whole thing that they did with R-Truth. What did you think about this, Tommy?
R-Truth was R-Truth. He's always the funny guy. Although I'm still very confused on why in the world Ron Killings is also a thing with Truth, because it's this weird thing. Is he goofy? Is he serious? Which one are we ever going to get? At this point, it's just so unexpected. It's mainly the goofy one. Now, the funny thing is, there's been a massive meme going around now from the end of this segment.
Mm-hmm.
The classic Brock Lesnar F5s, who Brock Lesnar wants to F5. So he does that on Truth. And then the next thing you know, it cuts to a different camera, and man ripped his pants while performing that F5.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing has now become a meme to the point where that one SpongeBob song has been playing over that clip. So that's absolutely hilarious. I love the fact that the fans brought that up. That's funny. But this whole segment, I'm like, oh God, it's Truth. I love you, Truth. I really do. But why in the world are you stepping up to Brock Lesnar of all people? Like, I love you. I don't want to see you die from an F5. Mm-hmm. So I love this segment. It was fun. But Truth seriously needs to figure out how the hell he's going to face off with Brock Lesnar. Because let's be honest, thanks to all of this, that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think this may lead to a match with Brock Lesnar and R-Truth. Maybe next week on Friday Night SmackDown. But then again, it's Brock Lesnar. I don't think Brock Lesnar is going to have a fucking random throwaway TV match with R-Truth on a Friday night. No, I don't think so. Now that I think about it. This was just
especially the day before Wrestlepalooza. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly. So I don't actually, no, I take it back. I don't think this is going to set up a match at all. This is just, this is just the build up for Wrestlepalooza. But the other thing too, with the whole thing of his pants getting ripped and he literally F5 R-Truth out of his own pants, Brock Lesnar did. Brock Lesnar just seems like he's just out there having the time of his life, having that little back and forth with R-Truth, and like he seemed like he was really into it and he was laughing and dancing. Brock Lesnar was, when his pants ripped, and that's a side of Brock Lesnar that we don't get to see a whole lot. But overall, man,
even walking back into the back, you could tell, because there are clips of it all over the place, of him just laughing his ass off while he's walking to the back, twirling around, showing off the ripped pants, everything else. So he definitely dug into that.
Yeah, for sure. So last week on Friday Night SmackDown, we had the first ever open Sami Zayn United States challenge with John Cena. John Cena was the first one for this open challenge that Sami Zayn is doing. And this episode of Friday Night SmackDown, we saw the second competitor, which turned out to be Rey Fenix. Before we get into the match, Tommy, what are your thoughts on this this open challenge thing that Sami Zayn brought back? This is a classic fucking tradition in wrestling, if you can even call it that. But what are your thoughts on Sami Zayn now doing it with the United States title?
This was a classic Cena trope. This was the main thing that Cena was famous for during all of his United States title runs is, hey, if y'all want some, come get some. Like, that was his whole thing practically every week while he had that United States title, every time Cena had that United States title. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that Sami Zayn has taken that into himself at this point, because I've kind of been wanting to see more of those, because you don't really see many of those that often anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny now that we're reviewing it 2 days later after the news that came out about Andrade, because it's like, well, your tag team partner is out now, Rey Fenix. So instead of putting you in the tag team division, we're going to give you a United States Championship title match. And I wonder if it was like, okay, look, this is, Andrade, you could have, gotten this title shot, but we're going to give it to your tag team partner instead. I know that's probably not how things usually work back there, but it's interesting to think about. Like, would Rey Fenix got in that title shot opportunity if Andrade was still there? I don't know. Maybe,
Well, I'm not sure if we're going to go through it, but it seems that Carmelo Hayes is up next for this week. So that's going to be interesting to see.
It is going to be interesting. Yeah, man. Overall, I I I think this is a great idea, Sami Zayn doing this open challenge thing, because especially if we get to see these types of matches that we saw, like Sami Zayn and John Cena had a banger of a match last weekend. I mean, last Friday Night SmackDown. This past episode of Friday Night SmackDown, Rey Fenix and Sami Zayn had a great match as well. Um, and Sami Zayn he's one of those guys that can have a good match with just about anybody and make everyone look really good. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing next week with Carmelo Hayes. Is Sami Zayn going to lose? No. But people have been asking for Carmelo Hayes to get an opportunity to get a singles push. And this is the beginning of where we can see what Carmelo Hayes can do in that title picture as a singles competitor versus a big star like Sami Zayn. So this puts a lot of light on some of those mid card guys that are based pretty much going to be the future of the company. But what did you think about the match with Rey Fenix and Sami Zayn?
The match was fun, honestly. These are two like really, really quick guys. Sami Zayn obviously does what Sami Zayn does. He's always like really, really good in the ring. And so is Rey Fenix. I kind of wish Rey was a little bit better. But then again, he's going up against Sami Zayn, who, as you've said, is over here night in and night out, putting other people over easily, even if he's the one winning. He's still over here making the other guy look good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what he did with Rey Fenix.
Yeah. And you mentioned Carmelo Hayes, because we saw Carmelo in having a couple backstage segments, when it comes to facing Sami Zayn, but we also saw someone else lurking in the background during those backstage segments. I don't know if you noticed, Tommy. Did you see who that was?
Yeah, I didn't notice at first, but I started seeing pictures all over the place. That was Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep, Shinsuke Nakamura. That was him. We haven't seen him in a long time, and he is also a former United States champion. So, how would you feel about seeing Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura down the line at some point?
Sammy versus Shinsuke, I'd be completely fine with. My problem would be giving Shinsuke Nakamura another United States title reign. Since obviously, with the last one, when they randomly decided to flip flop it back and forth between him and LA Knight for a minute, and did absolutely nothing with Shinsuke Nakamura while he had it, I'm a little bit worried that at that point they might hand the title to Shinsuke Nakamura and then once again do literally nothing with his title reign.
Oh, yeah. It was a rough time for the United States title scene when Shinsuke and LA Knight were all involved in it. It was a mess, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this with Sami Zayn as a United States champion, but it, I don't think we're gonna have Sami Zayn as United States champion for a long time because with all the shows that have been announced for Saudi Arabia, the Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi, WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi. I'm pretty sure Sami Zayn, this is just the beginning for him. I think he's going to work his way up to the main title picture scene here pretty soon, I feel like, right?
Oh, yeah, he absolutely would make an amazing world champion if they actually gave him the shot. They just need to give him that shot. And as of recently, they were going to do that on Raw before they flipped him over here to SmackDown all of a sudden. So I kind of want to see him in that world title picture.
Yeah. I mean, if he wins the Royal Rumble, he can go back to Monday Night Raw if he wants to. I think that's that's the out that Sami Zayn might have that option if he wins the Royal Rumble. But we shall see.
Well, with it being in Saudi, he's the big number one pick right now.
Yeah.
So
We were supposed to have a match between, I believe it was BFAB and Julia, but somehow this match didn't even take place. Instead, Julia and Kiana James beat up on BFAB, which then Michin comes out with the kendo stick to help BFAB. And this whole thing with Julia and Michin continues, and Michin is some sort of hardcore wrestler, at least in her own mind or in someone's mind. But man, the state of the women's United States title division is not very interesting, unfortunately. I hate to say that because the last few times that I've seen BFAB, I'm like, okay, she's interesting because she's got size and she's got the look, and but then when that bell rings, there's like, oh man, there's like something is missing for me when it comes to BFAB, and I wish I can see more of her. I wish they can give BFAB more reps, but man, this whole thing is just whatever to me, unfortunately. But what did you think about this whole thing with BFAB and Julia?
it seems like, unfortunately, they're just shoving things at the wall and hoping it fits when it comes to BFAB. Because she was with the Street Profits, or she still is.
She
I
still
don't
is,
know.
yeah.
Like, she has her moments with the Profits, and then she has her stuff with Michin. So I don't know anymore. But I look at this, I'm like, oh God, this is leading to a tag match, isn't it? This isn't even leading to a triple threat or anything, in which I'm thinking there's only two options this could go. One of them is less likely than the other at this point. One being a triple threat between Michin, BFAB, and Julia for that United States title. The other one, the more likely option, is a random tag match all of a sudden. So my guess is more on the tag side after seeing all of this, but we'll see how everything goes.
Yeah, and I'm just like, for what? Like, what is this thing with Michin gonna continue with Julia? Are they like trying to get Michin over to eventually put the championship on her? Because Julia was over at some point. You know, before all of this, people actually cared about her. At least in NXT, they cared about her. And now it's like, I don't even want to see Julia on my TV, and let alone Michin. And I'm just thinking, like, is this all that they have on the SmackDown roster for, you know, the women's division? Like, they can't come up with a better, I don't know, feud or competitor for Julia than this? I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to turn Kiana James on Julia? Like, I don't understand. Like, no one is excited to, oh yeah, I want to see this tag team match with Julia and Kiana James versus Michin and BFAB. It's just so uninteresting.
I feel like they shoved the title on her too quickly.
That could be possible, yeah. See, I'm looking at the women's roster for SmackDown right now. Nah, this is just a overall. This is just a mixture of everybody. But I would like to look into this more to see. Let's find someone better for Julia to feud with, because Michin is not working for me, man. It's just not. But yeah, that's what happened with that. Moving on, Tommy, what do we have next after this? We had a... Oh, yeah. Bianca... I'm sorry. Jade Cargill wrestled Tiffany Stratton, but remind me, Tommy, was this for the women's WWE Championship?
It was. It was a SummerSlam rematch for the title. Yeah.
Okay, and this pretty much ended in a no contest or disqualification because Nia Jax got involved. Or no, it was a count out, right?
It was a double count out because Nia Jax got involved.
Yeah. And this match, that they did on Friday Night SmackDown, like you said, it was a rematch from SummerSlam. Their match at SummerSlam was so much better than this. At least how I remembered it. They did not hook me in this match at all. It was very just it just didn't hit for me. It didn't they didn't grab me. They didn't have my attention, and I tried because I want to believe that, Jade Cargill can be a huge star and is improving in the ring, and I'm pulling for Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton too, despite how much heat Tiffany Stratton has with the fans. I was really big on Tiffany Stratton when she was on NXT, and when she got called up, it made sense to me. It makes sense to me that she's the champion, but I'm just not seeing that. I'm not seeing that same fire from Tiffany Stratton anymore that I once saw before. So it's just not this match that they did on Friday Night SmackDown was just, it wasn't working for me, unfortunately. And Tiffany Stratton fucking almost knocked herself silly at one point during this match. I don't know if you noticed this, Tommy. She goes for the moonsault from the top rope down to the floor to the bottom of the ring. And she like over rotates and whiplashes the shit and just smacks the shit out of her head on the floor. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it was right before the spot where Jade Cargill tackles Tiffany Stratton on the barricade. So she fucking lands, misses the moonsault, lands, smacks her head on the floor, and then Jade Cargill picks her up and tackles her through the fucking barricade. I'm just like, oh my God, somebody please check on fucking Tiffany Stratton, because she got really lucky. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. She JD McDonough herself at this point. But
Yeah.
I do honestly wish that they rehearsed this one as much as it felt like they rehearsed the SummerSlam match. Because for SummerSlam, it seems like they heavily rehearsed that match over and over and over again. For this one, it seems they were just backstage and went, well, time to do whatever the hell we want now. Like, that's just how it felt for me. It felt like this was not set up whatsoever. It was not prepped. It wasn't anything. It was just there. It just happened, which honestly sucks because it's very clear that when these two actively rehearse a match, it's decent. This one was not, unfortunately. And the problem I'm facing is the fact that I really didn't want either of these girls as champion, if I'm being honest. I mean, Jade got pulled up from AEW way too damn soon. She seriously needed more work. Meanwhile, with Tiffany Stratton, I have the same problem that you do with the fact that at first she had all of this energy, she had all of this power, everything else. But as of recently, everything with her has just dropped to the point where she's not a believable champion anymore like she once was. So that's my biggest problem with all of this, is Tiffany is no longer a believable champion, which sucks to say, knowing the fact that that is their world champion we're talking about here.
No, world champion is the one from Raw.
It is SmackDown's world champion. It's like a different title, but still.
Women's WWE champion.
Yeah. The point still stands.
Yeah. I hate to say, Tommy, but I disagree with you 1000% when it comes to your comments about the match being, when they rehearse a match, it's better. And to me, I'm the complete opposite. To me, this match that they had on SmackDown was too rehearsed. And I think one of the reasons that I enjoyed their match at SummerSlam, that I still to this day believe that match has been Jade Cargill's best match in the WWE, because it didn't feel as rehearsed. It felt more natural. It felt more real. It felt like they were actually having a match instead of doing a fucking routine of move by move. Okay, what's next? Okay, we're gonna do the, like that's what this match on Friday Night SmackDown felt like to me. It was too rehearsed, and for me, when it's obviously too choreographed or too rehearsed, I'm completely out of it. And I know to a certain point they probably do train it or practice it or whatever, but when it's blatantly obvious, it's just I don't care. And that's what this match felt like to me. But that's the thing about pro wrestling. Everyone sees what they see from their perspective. But this match that they did, Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton this Friday, and maybe because it is a TV match, it's a Friday Night SmackDown, no one was really going to win because they wanted to, do the Nia Jax run in. They're like, there's no point. It wasn't a SummerSlam match, right? So there's no point to go all out on a Friday Night SmackDown TV match. Fine. I get it. But it was nothing like their match at SummerSlam at all. But when it comes to Nia Jax, we've been seeing these three mingle with each other backstage here and there over the weeks. Is it safe to say we're going to see another triple threat match with these girls, or what do you think? Women, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's safe to say we're getting a triple threat, which I know is your favorite type of match. You love multi-man matches. Come on.
Yeah.
You love multi-person matches.
Right.
So it's safe to say that at this point, it is inevitable that we will absolutely be getting a triple threat between Nia, Tiffany, and
Jade.
Yeah.
Which sucks because out of those three, I don't know who. I mean, I definitely don't want to see Nia Jax as champion again. We've seen we've seen that before, and it didn't really work for me. The promos didn't work for me. Nia Jax was on TV all the time, and I was Jade Cargill. Normally, I would say I want to see Jade Cargill become champion, but not now, not yet. I still think there's a long time before they should do that. And then if Tiffany Stratton wins, that's cool. If I had to pick between all three of these, I would probably say Tiffany Stratton right now. But even then, it's like I'm starting to lose interest in Tiffany Stratton's title reign already. So it's like, do I really want to see her continue with this title run? I don't think so. So either way, if this ends up in a triple threat, whatever, I don't. It's just who fucking cares at this point? Who wins it? All right. Moving on, we got the main event: Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. And Drew McIntyre's music hit exactly 30 minutes before the top of the hour. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? They're going to give the main event 30 fucking minutes? We don't usually see that. What the fuck? What gives? Shenanigans? Commercial breaks? What? I don't understand. It felt like, okay, they're giving these guys a really long time, as they should. It's Randy and Drew. But then after everything, Randy's entrance was like 5 minutes. They played a couple video packages. They had some commercial breaks. So the actual bell time wasn't until 10 minutes later after Drew McIntyre's music hit. So the bell started 20 minutes before the hour, which was 6:40 on my time. Yeah, 6:40. Because the show over here is over at 7. So they wrestled for about It was about a 15-20 minute match, Drew and Randy Orton. And it's, again, two of the best in the business. The match was fucking amazing. It was hard hitting. It made sense. Randy Orton selling his knee, Drew McIntyre, going after the knee. And it was just such a great match. But there was so many signs there that after a while, kind of like last week where I was like, oh, okay, this is when Brock Lesnar come out. At some point during the match, I was like, Cody's coming back, huh? He has to come back, huh? And what do you know, man? Right when Drew McIntyre was about to hit Randy Orton with that drop kick on the announce table, the same that Drew McIntyre hit Cody Rhodes with, Cody's music hit, and the boy is back. The WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes came out for the save. I'm so glad Cody's back. Cody Crybaby for life. I don't even remember who won this match because I got so excited when I heard Cody's music hit. But what did you think about the main event, Tommy?
It was
McIntyre won? Okay.
Yeah. So, match was fun. I'm so happy that Cody Rhodes is back because what you forgot to mention is what was announced after all of this, which is we officially have our 6th and final match for Wrestlepalooza, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed title. That is our final confirmed match for the Wrestlepalooza card. It's not surprising at all. We all knew that this match was coming. We honestly weren't expecting when, but we all knew it was going to be coming at some point. But I'm a little bit confused on why this match was just like, oh yeah, we'll do it next week. Instead of, hey, we have a PLE right here. Do it then. I honestly feel like this match should have happened at the last PLE they did. If I'm being completely honest, this absolutely should have been there. Unfortunately, it was not. But this whole thing with Cody, not surprising whatsoever. So happy he's back. Welcome back from the Street Fighter arena. Welcome. Now, when it comes to Randy, I'm looking at all this. I'm like, dude, you're not going to do it on Kevin. You're stopping him from everyone else. Who the hell are you going to have this man punt? Let him punt somebody already. You have been trying this will he, won't he punt somebody thing for so damn long. Who is Randy Orton going to punt in the head? Let it happen at this point. Because it's kind of getting irritating every time somebody blocks him from him punting somebody when he hasn't lined up. Let him kick somebody in the dome. Please. But this match, I did absolutely love it.
Wow, Tommy, you got no shame, huh? You freaking ruthless animal, you. And I don't think in the year of 2025, with everything that we know about CTE and all that stuff, Randy Orton, I don't think should be punting anyone in the head anymore. I'm sorry to break it to you, Tommy. It's not necessary. We don't need to see it. Yes, I understand it looks cool, but like... And maybe Randy Orton, if someone can do it safely, it's Randy Orton, but then it's really not that necessary, Tommy.
Then why don't we just cut it all together? Because they've been doing this for a hot minute back when Kevin Owens was doing the pile driver. So that was the entire plan before the surgery with Kevin Owens, is an illegal move for another illegal move. That was the entire plan. And now that Kevin Owens is out on injury because of the surgery and everything else, they're still drawing it out. So either do it or just stop hinting at it at this point.
Yeah, and I think I see. I'm just speculating here. I might be wrong. Maybe maybe they are gonna do it at some point. But if they're gonna do it, I don't think it's gonna be on a random TV match on Friday Night SmackDown. If they were thinking about doing it versus Kevin Owens, that would make more sense because that feud was heating up. They were gonna have a match at a PLE. They've been hinting at it. They've been building up to it. So maybe if someone is going to take a punt to the head, Kevin Owens is crazy enough to do it. But it has to mean something, you know? And it just wasn't the time on Friday Night SmackDown. Will we see it? Maybe. If Randy Orton gets into a hot enough feud like a CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, if Randy Orton is in a feud like that with someone that he really hates, I think, yeah, do it. But if you guys are gonna if it's gonna be worth the risk, it has to mean something, I think. Um
Or maybe what happens is we finally get that match between Cody and Randy at some point for the title, since I don't think he's losing it to Drew McIntyre. So maybe with that whole thing, maybe that's when he pulls out that punt and finally goes through with it.
didn't they just wrestle not that long ago, Cody and Randy, for the title?
I think that was like last year at like a random Saturday night's main event or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I want to say it was before WrestleMania this year. And because that's what Drew McIntyre was like, oh, yeah, you couldn't pull the trigger versus Cody Rhodes, Randy, but I am.
Oh, so that was Night of Champions.
Yeah. Which was when?
Um, hold on.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely wasn't, but that was definitely at Night of Champions though.
Yeah,
Earlier
that's when
this
they
year.
did the King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was definitely this year. So there's that. I don't think Cody and Randy are going to be punting each other in the head anytime soon, at least. But yeah, that was one of the questions: was is there going to be a sixth match added to Wrestlepalooza? And I wasn't even thinking Cody Rhodes is going to come back anytime soon versus Drew McIntyre. People were saying maybe they're going to add Dom to that card. Maybe we'll get another women's match added to that card. Um, Maybe Damian Priest versus Aleister Black will get, but no, it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. That has been added to WrestlePalooza, and it's another interesting match that you can add to the mixed tag team match with AJ Lee, um, the match with the Usos, the Brusos versus the Usos, and now you have Cody versus Drew McIntyre, Brock versus Cena. So this turned out to be a really stacked fucking card for WrestlePalooza, I think, right?
Oh yeah, it is an absolute stacked card. The problem here is when it comes to matches we actually care about, it's only half of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, four, right? Cody, Drew. That's a good one. The mixed tag team match was the main one of the main ones. Brock versus Cena, the main event. That's half right there. And then
Yeah.
you wouldn't consider the Usos versus the Vision as one of those matches that people mostly care about?
The problem is many people's thoughts were the fact that we didn't want the Usos back together. We really wanted them to just stick to their own little things. But then Braun. So it's a thing that's happening.
What if this is just a one-off match though? Just one time for WrestlePalooza's sakes. Let's put the Usos together, and then they can go off and keep doing their thing.
I'm hoping it is, but the problem is when they came out for that promo segment, it did say, like, it didn't say like Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso individually. It full blown said the Usos. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a one-off thing. If not, maybe a temporary thing, and then they can all go back to doing what they do. But yeah, really, really interesting stuff that we saw on Friday Night SmackDown. We saw Brock Lesnar and R-Truth at the beginning, an unexpected face-to-face that I did not think we would see in 2025. Cody Rhodes came back after a great fucking main event between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. My God, that was such good shit. But that was Friday Night SmackDown, Tommy. Anything else that we miss that we should probably mention before we get up out of here?
Not other than what's coming up down the pipeline later this week.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Tomorrow's Monday Night Raw, which is starting at an earlier time too, I believe, right?
Yeah, just 1 hour earlier.
1 hour earlier, okay. So that's going to be cool, getting done with all the Monday Night Raw review. We're going to have that after Raw. On Tuesday, I'm going to be doing predictions for AEW's All Out with the special guest, Chrissy Tinas, joining the Snug Wrestling Podcast for that. On Wednesday, I might have a special episode where we're going to get into some UFC talk. This whole thing with the ticket sales, TKO, I want to dig more a little bit into that. So I might be doing something like that on Wednesday. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Thursday, one-on-one with Mr. Bludd. Wait. Wednesday is our predictions for
Wrestlepalooza.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, we're doing predictions for Wrestlepalooza on Wednesday. We got so much shit coming up, you guys. It's not even fucking funny. So be on the lookout for that. Hit us up at Snug Wrestling. Check out the show. Leave a star rating and review. I haven't checked recently, but earlier this week, we were in the top 15 wrestling podcasts in all of the nation. And that was a lovely thing, a lovely accomplishment. So thank you guys for hanging out with us as much as you do. But yeah, we're definitely in the talks of the top 100 mostly always. So that's
not once have we really dropped below the top 100 at least. I believe the highest number that we've gotten was like 79.
That sounds about right. So yeah, that's just a little fun fact for everyone in case they're wondering what we're all about. So yeah, let's get up out of here, Tommy. Go ahead and
all right. Since our boy's Toxic and Mr. Bludd ain't here, I guess I'm doing this solo. That was one time for the one time. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet.